decision, a lot less time to adapt on the fly, a lot less time to theory craft any kind of counter pick.
Which is why I 100% agree with Vitality just saying let's swap sides. Because then we don't have to think about how to counter that draft if we're blue side again. Because now it's a complete new pick and ban phase. We will most likely not see anything close to what we saw in the last game with this like Rengar in to protect the backline.
You say that and it may just come true. 3 mid laners taken off the board and the Rengar taken away as well.
Should be Camille last ban for Vitality. I think that one is a little bit too disgusting to leave open. Even if there are some soft counters to it, most of them end up just being like a skill matchup, a 50-50 matchup where Camille can still snowball out of control, which is why she's so hard to deal with. LeBlanc being banned by the Unicorns of Love doesn't want to get forced into first picking it by it being left open. Also with Ryze being banned. And Ryze, of course, is one of Exile's signature picks, and he was the first guy to really bring in the new Ryze to professional games.
And really the first person to show off how strong the Realm Warp ultimate can be, whether it was porting his team out of the Baron Pit or using some fancy footwork to juke what seemed an impossible escape. Overall, a very strong Ryze player. Makes us take off the board, and Ivern.
Camille is open. Cabochard is saying, you know what? I can play against it. Both teams now.
There
Both
it is.
teams.
The first Camille, EU LCS.
Let's remember, Camille is flex. She can be a jungler as well, but top lane is still where most people are using her. And Cabochard feeling confident. He's definitely going to pick a carry against it.
Notice that there are no top lane bans here. We saw Rumble and Shen taken off the board by Vitality last time. This time they said, take it. We know you're forced into Camille. I think Cabo's just going to go Aurelio or Jax or Fiora. He's going to bring it out.
There is also a chance he just says, I'm going to pick like Shen. I'm going to build like full armor and you're not going to kill me, and I'm just going to use my ulti to snowball my bot lane. That chance is there, but this is Cabochard we're talking about. So I'm going to say we're going to get a carry. We're going to get a carry versus carry up in the top lane, where if Cabochard loses, Camille takes over the game. Unless she goes jungle and it's all ruined.
We will find out here as Unicorns of Love enter their second rotation of picks. Vitality have locked in theirs first. Once again, getting their hands on the Malzahar and the Jhin, rinsing and repeating what we saw in game 1.
I think it is a little bit risky though, again, early picking Malzahar here because Xerxe is available. And I think Xerxe is a perfectly fine pick here against it. MF is also an option. And Lulu, of course, also an option, as we saw in the last game. There's like multiple counters ready for the Unicorns of Love against this very early Malzahar pick.
Taking a lot of time here. Will they take the Lulu away? But the Rumble, we have to mention as well, as the Lulu is locked in. Mention that we have seen this in solo queue as a very prominent jungler. We didn't really expect to see it in competitive play as a jungler. So do you think it's going to be Chachi in the top lane with this Rumble or with this Camille?
I mean, Unicorns of Love probably doesn't know it yet. It depends on what Vitality is picking, and I think that's one of the really fun things about double flex pick here, is that we still don't know who you're actually dealing with. Because if Vitality picks Shen, you put Rumble top against him.
You just have to feel for Vitality. This has to be such a frustrating position. They picked Olaf, they picked Jhin, they picked Malzahar. They have raw power on their side, but they don't know, honestly, where any of these champions are going to go. We have to assume Lulu support, but we haven't seen Lulu in so long. Are you really even comfortable saying it won't go into a solo lane?
I'm pretty confident in saying, especially after a lot of the nerfs, that it will be support against the Malzahar. Vitality doing what we see so often, really nothing worth highlighting. When you're picked your AD carry and the enemy has not picked theirs, you start banning like Ashe and Varus. Unicorns of Love removing that Shin we talked about as one of those picks against Camille. And also because Vitality had a comp that could once again try and snowball bot lane with the Malzahar ulti. But yeah, Varus and Ashe, no real big surprises, meaning we probably see Caitlyn again from Samux.
Still, of course, a very safe pick, very easy to control the lane with that extra range, as well as dissuade tower dives with traps. Won't be quite so effective against the Olaf, but Poppy taking off the board as well. Chachi's saying, come at me. Yeah. He's daring him to pick a carry here.
We talked about how traditionally you pick some of these tanks against Camille and you just survive the laning phase and you snowball the other side of the map. But Unicorns, they want the skill matchup top lane. They want Cabochard against Camille!
Yes! Now we just have to see if the Unicorns of Love are going to agree with our, Drakos Deficio fan fiction, and we're going to get the 2 top laners playing.
Oh, we will.
Or
Come
is Rumble just going to go up
No, we're getting it. We're getting it. We're getting Fiora versus Camille Cabochard versus Vizicsacsi in the top lane. So there's early game jungler that can gank from Vitality and Olaf. That is important to highlight because right now we expect Rumble to be the jungler for Unicorn, and Rumble is not really the guy who ganks a whole lot early on.
Very fast clear time.
He's fast clear time, but he's not helping his lanes, and that can snowball heavily in favor of Vitality.
And you have to think Camille is very strong, but if Fiora finds an early lead, I mean, we've seen what happens in these bruiser top lane matchups. They just take over. Orianna now locked in for Exileh. The team comp is assembled, and it feels very similar to what the Unicorns of Love played before. Now, they have made some changes here, but 2 protection elements for Samux once again.
Yeah, once again, and just safe scaling in the mid lane with Orianna. It was a blind pick for Exileh here, and very few things can actually dumpster Orianna. I will almost say almost nothing can actually straight up ruin her day. So we get to see just the Taliyah once again, and this was Vitality potentially looking for that global comp that could snowball Steelback down the bottom lane. But obviously the Shen ban ruined that one a little bit, and instead we get Fiora versus Camille. I still think the fact that there's an Olaf on one side to help the Fiora might make it a little bit unfair.
I mean, I'm just waiting, because I'm not 100% confident they're not going to swap yet. I want to get excited. I want to talk about this with you, but they could, Deficio. They could.
They have 10 seconds to do it. It's all the way down to 20 seconds. You need to have swapped.
Come on. Fighter v fighter.
It's Camille top.
1v1.
Don't do it.
The ultimate man. All right,
there we go.
It is.
We keep it. We keep it. Also, like playing Rumble against Fiora once Fiora gets a few items is not very fun in that side lane.
Not at all, but we do have 2 very exciting compositions picked up here. It's the top lane fight matchup that we've been waiting for so long. No more Maokai, no more Poppy, no more Nautilus.
And 2 carries that obviously can get out of control. Camille is just even faster at getting out of control because she also has this annoying ability where she can fly through the map because she can hook herself to a wall and then shoot herself forward, double the range when she's going against a champion. So once she's fed, you're never gonna get away from her.
Hashtag Unicorns of Love win, hashtag VIT win, or UOL win rather. Probably don't need to type the whole thing, but whatever you prefer.
It'll be a long one, long hashtag.
This is it, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2, Unicorns of Love versus Vitality. If you're a Vitality win fan, you have to hope that they find 2 wins back to back. The Unicorns of Love, you're only gonna need 1 more to secure this victory. Team's already leaving the base.
And when we were researching Camille and potential counters against her, a lot of the picks that came up outside of just the standard tanks like Shen was like maybe Irelia, maybe Fiora. People weren't really sure because it was very often just 50-50s up there, and it just came down to skill, honestly. Fiora is, of course, a champion that scales fantastic towards the late game. And Camille is technically designed in the way that late game, she can struggle against heavy split pushers.
Of course, we got the chance to speak a little bit to the designer, Riot Jag, who put Camille together, who launched this kit, and he said, in theory, she's better at team fights than the average split pusher, and she's a little worse at split pushing than the average split pusher. She fits in between that tank role and that split pusher role. But he said, but right now she's a little overtuned, and she kind of does everything super well.
That's why it's hard to say with like the intended thing with her and say it's actually gonna happen because she is obviously overtuned at the moment. Which is why all these pro teams are just banning her over and over. But we can't forget, there's still the Malzahar in the bot lane, which means Vitality have another lane they can snowball. But I want to see Djoko early game focus top lane.
And honestly, they have, even if Djoko doesn't want to focus top lane, they have a very similar opening on the bottom lane because Malzahar holds him still. Olaf gets in there with that damage.
Of course.
And once he's on top of you, there's nothing you're going to be able to do. But interesting start here coming in. Steelback and Hachani look like they are going to take red buff level 1.
So there's a lot less wards level 1 after trinkets were changed. So they actually managed to sneak in from River when there was nothing being placed. Because remember back, last year, people would just ward the entire River level 1. You could see every single thing. You could see everyone who walked into your jungle. You don't do that anymore. So Hachani and Steelback actually found a way to take away red buff because if you're a Malzahar, with your voidlings, it's very, very easy.
Well, in level 2, when you get the Malefic Visions, is so important. It gives the movement speed to get in there, makes it easier. See Exileh taking a lot of damage on the back of that level 2, and they have to respect Hachani as long as this red buff is up and available.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're also just taking it away from the enemy jungler. That is important because you're trying to get a jungle advantage here Funny thing, by the way, when Lulu auto-attacks Malzahar, if he is too quick on placing his Voidling, because the
bolts can be interrupted.
The bolts, yeah, exactly. The bolts actually follow after the auto. The Voidling just dies instantly, even though you're actually auto-attacking the Malzahar, because the Voidling is just right in front of him. And yep, rip.
Observers, I know normally we chastise you for focusing on the top lane, but no
lock
hard
the
feelings this time.
Lock
Just
the camera
lock the
top.
camera. They're going to kill each other bottom. We're not worried about it. We want to see the fighters fight.
Okay, Djoko. Problem for him is he's on top side and Cabochard has pushed away, so he's not really able to get an easy gank off, and Xerxe is full HP, so diving is a little bit out of the picture as well. Cabochard trying to bait and all in because Djoko is nearby, but Xerxe obviously knows he's not gonna fall for that one. He has zero vision on top lane. His jungler's in the bottom lane. Not the time to just randomly go crazy unless Cabochard gets a little bit too low.
See Xerxe getting aggressive, trying to wait for that adaptive defense's cooldown before he goes for anything crazy. Very patient, doesn't want to burn the hook shot, the wall dive, until he's seen the parry from Cabochard go away. Xerxe may have the raw power on his hands, but honestly, Cabo has the experience, much more time competitively playing these powerhouse split pushers. Last season, we saw it. We saw 3 victories for Vitality over the 1 to Unicorns of Love, and that was Aurelia and Jax in the hands of Cabochard. This man is a master of fighters.
Yeah, funny enough, when Vitality 2-0 Unicorns of Love in the start of the summer split, Cabochard had Aurelia in both those games that you just mentioned. He was up in the first game 11 CS at 10, and the second game 22 CS at 10. Picked up a ton of kills. He was 6-1, and then he was 11-2, and he really hard carried. This is what you can do as Camille, in case you've never seen her before. And trust me, when you're playing an AD carry in a side lane late game and that happens, you just die.
Going Snare going to connect as well. Hylissang going to have to flash to safety. Djoko on the way in. Another axe connects. Flash forward. First blood. One last shot from Steelback to clean up that kill.
Yeah, we had Djoko top lane first, but Cabochard had the lane push, so he couldn't gank. Meant he had to just put his focus elsewhere. And clearly surprising Hylissang down the bottom lane that he actually showed up so quickly. And that's a kill now for Vitality. We're still waiting for Hachani level 6, which is a really good way to snowball that side. Let's see what the Rumble can do.
Moving his way up. Ready to go in. Is now in the danger zone as well. That's maximum damage. Parry might be available for Cabochard, though. They're not going to connect the stun. Just getting down some decent damage. You can see the jungle matchup here on your screen.
Yeah, jungle is obviously very important when you have some of these snowball matchups. Last game, we got to see them be part of every single kill. Congratulations to Djoko, your team had 2 kills.
100% kill participation.
There you go, great stat.
And it's interesting too on the side, you know, Xerxe, he played that Ivern, he was a part of every kill in that game, and very different pace for him now on Rumble. He doesn't get to be a part of the early game. He has to wait to scale up.
And he was denied that red buff early, costing him a bit in terms of his first clear. He's a level down at the moment against Djoko, because Djoko was also part of that first flood. But really, really important thing that still happened up with Xerxe here just poking Cabochard, because what happens always is both top laners will TP back to lane after the first recall to make sure they keep up in CS and experience. So going in and just poking him actually did a lot. Djoko is trading with Xerxe.
Xerxe in comes Rumble. That's decent damage. Flash over the wall. No opportunity to get out. Xerxe going to look for a kill back. Cabo may have bit off more than he can chew. Now pulling back 1 for 1 overall. Flash forward from Xerxe. He's going to roll in. Not going to get stunned up. Overheating. Cabo in trouble. Double kill. Ask and you shall receive 100% kill participation. There it is again.
We just said he was slightly behind. He's no longer behind after getting those 2 kills. Hachani gonna try and just be annoying against Samux and see if they can connect the snare, but they do miss. Jungler's picking up all the kills top. Just assist for the actual top laners.
And once again, while level 6 may have been picked up by Exileh, by Xerxe, by Nukeduck, the bottom lane not quite as close, waiting for those all-important level 6 before we see the action plays coming in from Hachani.
And it's just so key with this jungle focus top. We keep talking about it because it's all about getting one of these split pushes rolling. Djoko started taking a lot of damage, but then Xerxe is sadly for him a little bit too early in the fight, and that's why Cabochard can take him down with Djoko.
Of course, small mistake as well on the hook shot. Stunned him up while the adaptive defensive shield was still available. But luckily, he's got a new jungler on his team who's more than happy to pick up the pieces.
And a new jungler who's doing pretty damn well for his first games in the EU LCS. See some more trading. Both level 6 now. Both of them, funny enough, actually want to stay inside the same little circle. You don't want to obviously stay in the same circle as Fiora once it's procced, but also you can't really get out of it, so you don't have a choice when Camille ults you.
So you remember we'll keep our eyes on the bottom lane just in case as some level 6s are coming out. We'll hold that thought for a second because it looks like there's going to be a party down here. Weaver's wall comes out. Samux is locked up against the wall. Hachani's only level 5, but he's moving forward. Djoko looks like he's going to grab his first kill of the game. Samux goes down. Hylissang is next. Vitality taking control of the bottom side.
And this is exactly what Vitality wanted to do last game with Taliyah. It's what we mentioned they would do in this game. Okay, Hachani didn't hit level 6 yet. But as soon as they can roam to the bottom side and create these easy picks, they will do it. Yes, we hype up the top lane. We talk about top lane. But it's because we were just waiting for ultis to be ready for Vitality on the bottom side. And that's just what they want in this game here. Because now Cabochard can actually just try and go even on top side. And he's AD carry, he's jungler, he's mid laner. They're getting the kills. They're going to be the strong members.
And the big thing too, Hachani not even level 6. He comes back to lane, he gets that level 6. It's one more fight in the favor of Vitality if they can set it off right. Things already looking much better for them in this game. Their massive gold lead on either side. We'll take one more look at how it happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a good Taliyah play. Nukeduck also knows he doesn't need to actually keep the wall up or anything because Samux is instantly dead. Top lane fight, he's ultis!
Defensives, Hex Tech ultimate, it's the 1v1 you've always wanted. Vizicsacsi pushes back against the wall, makes sure Cabo can't get the proc, but he gets it anyway. Chachi's in trouble, but both sides are going to back off.
Yeah, it's really, really hard for Chachi to actually burst down Cabochard because if he is keeping him in his ulti, then obviously Cabochard can very easily proc his own ulti and get back to HP, and also with Camille. It's really hard to actually try and land the stun with their E because it's so predictable. So Cabochard will just block that and riposte it. And that means Chachi's not able to actually take him down at the moment. Maybe if you bring in your jungler.
Got a feel for it. Rumble just walks in. He doesn't have any hard CC, but what he does have is a ton of damage. Always have to respect him. Always going to have to back off there.
And I guess killing people is some sort of CC.
Yeah, Death I've heard is the best CC.
It's my favorite.
Moving in. I think surprisingly, Exile's struggling a lot more in this mid lane than he was in the previous game. Now, admittedly, Nukeduck does now have a kill as an advantage, but feeling pretty rough overall for Exile on this Orianna.
I mean, this is what Taliyah can do. She can very often just push out her lane and then start roaming down. Hachani's 6 and it's another roam.
Hylissang just gonna have to flash to safety.
Oh, I think Vitality went a little bit aggressive too fast there. Because Nukeduck hadn't actually moved in position to ulti just yet, and he had a few seconds on his ulti as well. So they could have maybe picked up more, but they did get to push Unicorns back, and now we get the reaction, just a full set of defenders down here, keeping the tower alive.
At the end of the day, Vitality are gonna back off. Don't want to mess with that equalizer. Cannot afford to take a fight. Hylissang getting level 6, getting the wild growth will make it that much easier. Both sides playing very safe around those ultimate cooldowns. And honestly, a lot of action here in the early game, but neither side taking too big of an advantage quite yet.
But it's Vitality who can create the plays. Unicorns will love have a composition that wants to 5-on-5 team fight later on in the game. It's hard for them to really force anything at the moment with this Rumble jungle as well. Vitality have Taliyah ulti. They have Malzahar ulti. They don't care about the tower either. They can dive. And that means Unicorns, they can't really force plays, but they can at least take a free objective because Vitality, they're all back in base.
Yeah, Clouddrake gonna get picked up here. We'll offer a buff if they manage to take the Elder Dragon later. We'll make it easier to get back by lane, or back to lane, if only about half a second to a second faster. And at the end of the day, it may look like the trades are going even on the top side, but you gotta keep your eyes on that CS, 91 to 69.
Yeah, Chachi getting a good advantage up here, even though he lost that all in. And Cabochard
be in trouble. Vizicsacsi just gonna run to safety. He doesn't have to use it to engage. Flash out. Cabo still wants more. Waiting. Parry going in. Hex Tech ultimatum available. Gonna try to trap him in there. Cabo cannot afford
the bait!
Chachi says, here's the ultimatum.
So when you use Camille's ulti, you're untargetable for just a short second.
Hylissang's about to die. Olaf can't be disabled. Vitality may not be able to get anything on the top side, but they're more than happy to pick up one on the bottom. And Nukeduck not done yet. Moving forward, flashes burned. Action across the map.
This is a fun series. I love this. Both teams are playing some super fun League of Legends. Xerxe taking damage.
Xerxe trying to do his best to kill the minions so they can't continue the dive. Rumble is so low, he's burning down. He's gonna drop. Hachani grabs that one. Nukeduck goes down.
Ooh, she's getting fed. Okay, so again, once we see the top lane replay, just notice the timing on Chachi's ultis, because as I said, for just like a short second, you can't be targeted by anything when you pop that ulti, and Cabochard got baited super hard.
It's so easy to forget that there's that essentially a parry mechanic, similar to Fizz, the troll pull from Vladimir. Easy to forget about those opportunities to dodge damage, and in the heat of the moment, it was Cabo who forgot, but now it's Steelback.
Oh, he's the ball delivery system. It's a Lulu.
They've overstayed his welcome. Exileh moving forward. Lulu a little too slow.
Yeah.
I almost said a little too short, but that isn't really a thing.
He can still be fast. Anyway, okay, let's get here. The funny thing is, Cabochard doesn't actually need to all in here because his team is winning the bottom side of the map, but he goes for it, and now in his mind, he's like, I can get this, but look at the ulti from Xerxe. Dodges out of the damage, and you can't get out. There's nowhere to go for Cabochard. I think this is just him wanting to show that he can win this matchup when he didn't actually have to do it.
Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Hylissang gets involved in a staring contest with the scary man from the Void. That usually doesn't go very well for anyone. Nope. But the top lane match before is so hyped, these little outplays that you can do.
Just set up following this one. Nice Rumble ulti coming in, but obviously Voidlings, a crit. Samux is like, I could block this one for my jungler, but nah, I'm just gonna start hitting this Malzahar in the face, and I'm not actually even close to killing him. Guess.
Gotta buff that damage stat, Deficio. How dare you?
That's actually true.
Like,
you're an AD carry. It's not your job to block ultis.
No. It's only about damage. Everyone else is a shield for you.
And then AD carries complain when everyone hates them. Do we actually still hate AD carries? I'm not really sure
I don't think we hate
where the meme is at the moment.
Yeah. I think we're okay with AD carries. Mostly because supports get to do damage now.
Right,
so it's like hard to be mad at AD carries.
Yeah, we laugh at the AD carries.
They're like, oh, we get to do damage with one item. How many items do you need? Oh, 4?
Oh, so cute.
Now focusing back in, you can see Vizicsacsi more than happy to apply that lead on the top side, and the CS lead continues to grow, 30 now in his favor, and the Trinity Force has been completed. A massive power spike for any champion that'll pick it up, and Camille is no exception.
And one of the most said phrases by any caster, the Trinity Force power spike is here right now for Vizicsacsi. Normally you can go straight into Tiamat after, because it's so easy to keep getting multiple procs from it when you can auto, Q, auto.
And keep in mind...
And Q again, and then auto again.
Yeah, the Q spacing is perfectly synced up with the Sheen timing as well, so it just feels so powerful to use.
Yeah, because you Q, and then you wait, obviously, for the empowered one, and then you do it again.
You get Sheen procs on both. Meanwhile, bot lane remains relatively back and forth. Early Whimsy, trying to lock it up. Hachani wants to go forward. Rumble can throw down the ultimate on top of him. Hachani biting off a bit more than he can chew. Caitlyn ult not up yet. We're going to have to back off. Djoko choosing to get out of this fight. Vitality had the setup, but couldn't quite execute on it.
And we get to see just a lot of action in the bottom lane. Hachani, oh, he's so low.
He's burning down. Deathfire touch, but the pot is ticking. Rumble with not quite enough AP yet.
No one actually took a tower. There's no teleports in this game right now because top laners, they can only fight each other when it's Camille versus Fiora. They're not going to use the
that
TP
teleport
bot lane.
Is for flanking in the late game and getting back to lane fast.
You only use it for free kills. That's basically it. So still see this 4v4 siege by the Unicorns. Olaf tower is dropping fairly low. Still first tower in the game here. No one actually picked one up.
Vizicsacsi playing incredibly patient. So many other players may have gone for a dive of their own there, but he's saving the Hextech ultimatum. He knows that he's already winning in pressure and that he can just bide his time. You will have pressure in just about every lane, even mid lane, starting to shift for Exileh. Samux stepping forward, little bits of poke going down. No dive coming out yet, but Djoko dropping ever lower. Caitlyn getting shots onto the tower, traps placed down under it as well, and it's getting harder and harder for Vitality to find anywhere safe on the map. Yeah,
this Lulu Caitlyn combo has been good when it comes to just pushing and taking control, and Xerxe now getting that first tower up in the top lane after Cabochard.
And this is got to be frustrating for Cabochard. This is the solo queue nightmare matchup. You're down 2 levels, you're down kills, you're down CS.
But you also have to blame yourself a little bit. You have to blame yourself a little bit. Going for that dive yourself cost you even more. Steelback in his build, Essence Reaver normally super standard. I like to see some armor penetration come in, or should I say lethality come in for Jhin when he's against squishy top lane, a squishy jungler. Everything is squishy actually on this side here. Go Ghost Blade instead and you get insane damage in the mid game. But Essence Reaver is always a safe choice. Get tons of cooldown reduction. Try and create some picks with your support. We can't blame him, but sometimes we want a little more. Because we're very greedy casters. Very greedy.
You're very greedy. I love Essence Reaver, man.
Oh, I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said,
you like the armor pen. If no one's going to build armor, 20 armor pen is a lot of armor.
It reduces a lot of armor.
Reduces a lot of armor. Samux continuing to push forward. No major item spikes for him quite yet. Steelback, of course, always happy to play Jhin. Relative power curve. Pretty comfortable whatever you pick up as first item.
But what do you do when you're in this situation where the enemy top laner is Camille? She's taking your tower, she's killing your top laner. Well, I guess you go bot lane again.
Oh, Xerxe overstepping into the brush. Curtain Call's coming out. He's trying to flash to safety. Wild Growth won't be enough. In comes the Weaver's Wall, but it's not quite going to make it to the tower. Goes from Nukeduck. Samux running. Djoko going to connect the axe. Samux set to fall. Nukeduck picks up a kill. And Vitality make a play on the bottom side.
And again, it's not the exciting lane to look at, but it was highlighted much, much earlier how strong the dive is from Vitality on bottom side. With Taliyah ulti and Malzahar ulti. That combination we're going to see a lot of in the current meta. Top lane.
Wall dive in. Grand challenge has been issued.
I like how Xerxe is actually, what he's doing here is just trying to bait Cabochard's ulti. Because when the Cabochard ultis, Xerxe just ease into the wall and flies back. And then he says, yeah, you know what, your ulti's gone now. And he knows that if he doesn't try and just randomly go for risky all-ins, he's just going to take tower.
I don't know if this is going to be random. He's waiting for the tower to drop. Now he wants to go for it. Taliyah's on the other side!
Okay.
Down goes the top laner. Exileh kills the jungler in the meantime, and Nukeduck somehow made it to top lane in the time where we were focused on that duel, but it's just constant action across the map.
You get the tower, though, if you're Vizicsacsi. I think you're happy enough with it. Another insanely overpowered thing about Camille is her ability to take down towers, because again, auto-Q, auto-Q. It's just too much damage on these turrets. They go down way too fast. But this is the combo with the Malzahar Taliyah. We've seen it 500 times already. It's also fairly exciting.
It's fairly exciting.
But it's not Camille Fiora exciting.
It's not Camille Fiora exciting. But we've all been here against the Olaf. The slow run down to death. 3 people chasing you down. The life of an AD carry.
Trade. Trying to see if we can get Cabochard's ulti. Actually, he did also come down. Oh, she's still on cooldown.
Ultimatum is available.
Sometimes the replays do bug out a little bit, but he actually jumped in, and obviously, while he was taking tower, Cabochard was hitting him. And now, when you play against Fiora, you can actually just at this point say, yeah, you're not going to do anything in a team fight. You're going to sit in the side lane. I don't care. Camille is actually a better team fighter than.
And to be fair, at this point, if you're wondering who the carry is for Unicorns of Love, if you couldn't guess, it might just be Vizicsacsi, because at this point in the game, he has done 40% of his team's damage on this Camille. The constant trading back and forth on the top side of the map clearly paying off for him as he's now taken down 2 of those top lane towers.
And now you see the QSS, something we've seen before. Old school times. I say old school, it was like last year. People always build it against Fiora to remove the ulti. No longer works.
It doesn't do that anymore.
No
I was like, where are you?
That's
you
what
knew that.
No longer works. However, he still needs it against Malzahar. So it's actually not useful against Cabochard. It also gives him MR, like he doesn't really care about that in this 1v1. But he knows he's going to enter a team fight, and he knows Hachani's going to ulti him there.
Oh, here comes Vizicsacsi. Could just leap right onto Steelback. Not going to do it quite yet, but we'll pressure him off. But it's Samux who has overextended. Straying way too far, and not a whole lot to get excited about here. Samux getting cut down, a smart move from Vitality, but honestly just an overextension for the new AD carry on the Unicorns of Love.
Oh, Nukeduck is trying to block them from coming down and killing Djoko.
Going in, TP's coming in, Hachani looking to get aggressive. Hylissang has been locked up. What can they get? Nukeduck is here. That's a ton of damage. Out comes the ultimatum. Nukeduck now set to die. Will the team join in? He can no longer get the 1v1, but Chachi's cleaning up house. Oh, Hachani maybe set to drop. Next to flash out. Cabo with the moves. Cabo pulling back. Exileh now the one in trouble. Leaps in from Cabochard. Will he make the hero play? One more bullet. Cabo goes in. Triple kill for the Fiora.
Oh, this game is so good, man. I love it. Cabochard right back in the game. 4 kills now on Fiora. What a nice fight from Vitality. It all started with this man on your screen, Samux, getting caught in the bottom lane. As a Caitlyn, you really do not want to sit side lane after lane phase is over, because then the big bad bullies are always coming and killing you. And no, this is not AD carries being underpowered. This is just him overextending. And Nukeduck actually used ulti to try and block Unicorns of Love with Orianna, as you see on your minimap, from entering the fight earlier. Hylissang goes in, tanks the ulti. I think he goes in a little bit too early. Drops low, but he does stay alive. And you can see they're completely split. Exileh is still not in the picture because he was blocked by that ulti from Nukeduck. And that means Cabochard got a ton of time to just sit and deal damage. And even the 1v2 in the end.
Oh, poor Exileh. Slowed down. Shot from long distance by a strange man in a mask. And in the end, taken out. But we look now at the gold. It is almost dead even, and we're 23 minutes in. But it is 4 towers to 1. Vitality need to make moves to take down some of these structures because Unicorns of Love are already well on their way in each and every one of these lanes.
Yeah, and Unicorns of Love still have fantastic scaling in their composition. A very strong late game team fight. Trying to see if they can catch Djoko. Didn't manage to get him, but did force his ulti. So we're still in a good spot. Honestly, for both teams. Slightly worse for Vitality, but definitely not a game they can't win. We see that same thing again now, Drakos, on Orianna with Leandris coming in, where flat magic penetration after Locket lost its MR aura is just so valuable because, again, AD carries are not getting any MR early. It's even hard for like a support like Malzahar to get anything. So you can just deal a lot of extra damage. Cabochard only has his boots, giving him anything. So it's very valuable with flat magic pen. And Leandris against HP, stacking targets as well.
Of course, we do see a little bit of HP building up on the Olaf as well as the Fiora there. But I mean, it's a good point that you bring up. I think a lot of people may forget about how big the Locket nerf really was. 10, 15 magic resist for your entire team adds up so quickly. And of course, the less magic resistance you have, the more that small amount means for you in terms of damage reduction.
Exactly. Lower numbers of armor and MR means a lot because it's down in the lower numbers where if you add anything to it, the damage reduction increases very fast, but also the other way around. You also can reduce that damage reduction very, very fast. Down in the lower numbers, like sub, is like 70, 80 armor and MR. And that is like, if you look at Steelback, we're scaling MR runes, like he's sitting on 42 at the moment. Actually, Marcus said, there's some MR runes in there. And 42 MR, it's nothing against magic penetration from boots and an item from Orianna.
Almost true damage coming in, and another Cloud Drake drops in favor of the Unicorns. Once again, not one that you're always excited about, but still good to have here if they want to make more of these picks, especially with the power of that Camille. Now moving forward, Unicorns of Love set to pressure the tier 2 tower, and Vitality are scrambling on their defense. Jungler and support looking for a way back into the mid lane, maybe looking for a flank here.
But this is what we just highlight again. Unicorns of Love have great scaling, great 5-on-5 team fighting. So they are more than fine at the moment.
Weaver's wall. The team is split. The wall won't last for much longer. Are they going to commit? Snare onto Hylissang. Where's it going to go? Chachi splits off from the team. Nukeduck. A little bit of poke, and Unicorns of Love and Vitality playing so patient here.
And now they're backing away. I like how we look at the fans when they're actually done cheering. All right, okay.
It's hard. I feel for our cameraman. They're like, ooh, get that. It's like, no, no, no. They were just, it was a quick thing.
It's fun to look at Samux in this game because he was actually pushing his lane very aggressively. He was getting a lot of damage on turrets, but he's just been camped over and over and over by Nukeduck and Djoko.
It's interesting too because it was the same strategy that we expected from Vitality in game 1, and we didn't see anything from it. And it didn't look like Samux was going to be the guy that got out of position, but Vitality tried again, and this time it's working out so well for them. A ton of their gold coming from their focus on that bottom side.
Just some big differences. You know, Djoko didn't make the same misplay he made in the last game on Rengar, where he got caught under the turret, and also there's no cast on him with teleport to really try and match the global from Nukeduck. So Orianna can see her wave die, and then Taliyah walks out of range, and suddenly Taliyah is in the bottom lane, and it's really hard to stop. But we highlighted this before.
Suddenly it's Vizicsacsi in the bottom lane, and he's cutting through this tier 2 like it's butter.
It goes way too fast when you have an ability you can use twice as well on
Snare, sidestep, curtain call coming out. Oh, Xerxe coming forward, block it for him. Moving in, 4 shots gonna connect. No, they can't get the angle right. But maybe it's the block that's gonna cost Xerxe his life. He throws down the equalizer, but it's too long in the seismic shove. means Nukeduck will grab the kill.
Xerxe's still busy on these turrets, but Cabochard is here.
It's the 1v1. Exileh trying to pull someone back. He is going to connect with one. Hachani goes in, but it's Nukeduck who says no. Taking down the mid laner for the Unicorns of Love. The battle continues in the jungle, but Vitality are moving towards the Baron pit. Xerxe, what are you going to go for here? The inhibitor is up and available, but the Baron pit has to be respected.
Yeah, the reason he's going for inhib is he's trying to force other members of Vitality to recall. Let's see if he can't win it. He's losing it.
He doesn't have the lifesteal to win out against Cabochard. He's got too much sustain. Xerxe now running for his life. Does get the movement speed steroid there, but execute onto Djoko. They're not going to be able to get the Baron. It's mistakes across the board.
Oh, so Xerxe tried to play super aggressive on inhib to see if he could take the 1v1 and then also force someone else from Vitality to go back and therefore give up on the Baron. In the end, Xerxe does stay alive, and Djoko dies, so there's no Baron for Vitality. They lost 2 towers in the bottom lane. Really good pickup here. Nice combo from Nukeduck. First, his Taliyah in this game has been really, really strong. Great to see him come in, do well. And now we just see the chase. You can't really get away from Olaf here. And another good combo from Nukeduck. Getting a ton of damage down. Sadly for Vitality, with Hachani dying here, despite killing Exileh. They can't take down the Baron.
Unicorns of Love are now the one from the Baron. Steelback, is he going to be able to get it? No. Going to drop Nukeduck. It's the grand ultimatum, and it's not enough. Unicorns of Love get the Baron, and they pick off one from Vitality.
Cost him so much, and he's still chasing.
Xerxe's not done yet. Hachani, no hope to escape as the double kill drops.
And really, Djoko dying to that Baron, costing Vitality a lot here because he had just respawned when Unicorns killed him.
Forward is snared for a brief moment there to stop the engage. One member's up, but Xerxe just keeps advancing. The raw power of Camille in the hands of the Unicorns of Love looking unstoppable. It doesn't matter what happens to Samux on the bottom side. They cannot stop the Camille on the top side. Now the Camille in their base. Now all of the Unicorns pressing down the curtain call. But in the end, it's just going to be curtains coming out for Vitality. Unicorns of Love cutting down the last tower. One final fight. Hachani's on the way in. Tower getting lower. Steelback now unstoppable. Unicorns of Love living, but they drop one member. Oh, Exileh with the ult! Now pulling back. No one else going to be able to get in there. Exileh retreating to safety. Vitality stave off the Unicorns for now. Unicorns of Love going to retreat.
They will be able to. Nukeduck has ulti. Can he try and block the escape?
Oh, Exileh, Samux. Samux has been left to his own.
Sadly, he has a net. Whoops.
I forgot that the AD carries could even have escapes, Deficio. We've seen so much Jhin, Ashe, and Varus. I just assumed they'd be trapped.
Not this time, Sifa. Not this time. It is the support feeding instead. 0-7 for Hylissang. Doesn't matter though. This is because Djoko died at Baron. He just respawned. Vitality honestly should just have given it up. End up giving away one kill first and a second kill, and that actually cost him 2 inhibs and almost the entire game. When you don't have your jungler there, if you're not really committing to the fight, step away.
I want you to theory craft a little bit with me. What if we take Camille and we attach a fairy and a scary robotic ball to her? Is that more or less overpowered than normal?
I think if you give her some more tools as well when she goes in, where she can call for like an artillery strike as well that comes down, I think that makes it a little bit more balanced. I guess you can also call for your sniper to fire a long-range shot that can also deal a bit of extra damage. And you can then knock people up in the air. I think then she's pretty viable.
Unicorns of Love trying to break the final tower, standing between them and victory. One more inhibitor in their way as well, but they're caught up by the wall. Samux, can he make it out? Equalizer goes down to disengage the fight. Djoko hesitating to go in, not a whole ton of damage. Another shot going to connect, but no low health bars on the side of Unicorns. Our Vitality too far behind. Nukeduck trying to dissuade any further action, but Xerxe's now on the front lines. Ultimatum up and available, but Xerxe getting caught off on the bottom side. They're not even going to kill the Rumble. Hachani's caught up. The challenge is issued. Fiora wants a kill, but is not going to get it. Cabo forced backwards. Redemption comes down, but not before the Unraveled Earth finds a kill, and Cabochard is moving forward. Cabo set to fall. Shut down for Xerxe. Xerxe moving forward. Steelback gets popped. That's the shutdown, and that's the game. Unicorns of Love moving up 2-0 in their first series, cutting through each and every member of Vitality.
Unicorns of Love looking very, very strong here in the first game. The 2017 EU LCS Spring Split. A lot of people expect a lot from these guys. Samux coming in, doing his job. And Xerxe being this upgrade, big upgrade in the jungle. But really, Camille versus Fiora, it was fun. We knew Vitality were going to make plays in the bot lane.
A lot of OP champions today. Some of them didn't do what we expected. Camille did.
Camille definitely did. Cabochard will go back and rewatch his dive against the Camille 500 times. See if there was anything else he could have done different. Because Chachi ended up winning the lane on CS, took the tower, took a second tower, and Camille could also enter some fights later on. But it's not just Chachi here. I think actually the rest of Unicorns, the way they bounced back after losing so many members in the bottom lane was really well done. And they obviously had a strong 5-on-5 team fight that was scaling, should also be able to beat Vitality's composition in 5-on-5's late game, and they did do that.
I mean, at the end of the day, it just feels impossible to play against Camille when she's got that much range, that much engagement. Maybe if you shut her down early, but when she's ahead...
But that's the thing. You saw that they tried to do it. Djoko was up there level 3. The wave was not in a position so he could gank, so he went bot lane, picked up a kill, went back top lane, ended up trading 1 for 2 because Xerxe came up and killed 2 members. So he tried to snowball the Fiora. He tried.
At the end of the day, it was simply not enough. I mean, feels
bad, man?
Feels so bad. Camille is so strong. I cannot imagine the frustration playing against that champion, and I'll never have to because I ban her every game.
And because you're a caster.
It's true. So I'll never play against a really, really good
Camille, good one. I also know what your elo is. I'm not going to say it here, but you're definitely not going to face any good ones.
Huge.
Yeah.
Very low.
Not
actually,
ego.
Very
not ego.
low.
I mean elo. Let's calm down, Drakos.
Thank you, Deficio. Thank you very much. At the end of the day, I feel like Unicorns Love, Game 1 really impressed me. Game 2, I feel like it was Camille. The team did coordinate around it. That was great to see. But Game 1 was what really set the standards for Unicorns coming to the season. Still the wacky picks that people love, but fantastic execution.
Yeah, and this time I feel it's wacky picks that has been properly prepared. Because like it wasn't anything we've never seen before. Iron, Lulu, like we've seen all these before. Not everyone is using them very often, especially not in other regions. But they had a clear strategy. They executed it super well in the first game. Second game as well, getting that Camille, and then still drafting a composition that could team fight later, worked really well for them, despite giving up a lot of kills in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I think
it's a great start, though.
It's a great start for them. Vitality, of course, you know, a little bit questionable in a lot of things that they did, but I think they have clear signs and clear marks for improvement here, and I'm really curious as to see what they're going to do as their kind of their next step, like what they're going to take away from this game.
And I know we're only in week 1, so we can't start talking about playoffs and everything, but in Group B, we have H2K, Splice, Vitality, Unicorns of Love, and Origin. And a lot of people are looking at the H2K, Splice, Unicorns, Vitality as the 4 teams fighting for playoffs. So when you start losing these games here, even early, against these opponents you're fighting for these very, very key spots, the top 3, that can cost a lot.
It's true. And then we're going to have to see how the Unicorns of Love feel, though, to have advanced, have moved up 1 win in the series so far, because QuickShot is standing by with their top laner and their coach.
Thank you very much, the Double D combo, for some amazing calls.